This video is going to be a recap of how to create a new app, how to add new pages, and how to manage your pages within your app. So to create a new app, from the home page, you can click this New App button here, or if you are already in the My Apps menu, you can click the New App button here at the top. Both of these buttons do the exact same thing. When you tap them, a pop-up is going to ask you to give your app a name. I'm going to call mine Test App, hit Enter, and you can see the app is created automatically for me. By default, a new app includes one page. So you can see your pages by clicking the Pages icon in the Development panel, and then the page bar pops up. If I want to add more pages, I just tap this plus button. Note the red outline around a page. That's signifying which page is active, which page you are currently on. To jump to a different page, you just click to different pages on the page bar. I'm going to give each of these pages a different background color so that we can tell them apart a little bit more easily when looking at them in the page bar. And to do that, I'm just going to a page, tapping on its background to bring up the page editor, and then I'm tapping the background color property to bring up the color wheel, and then just picking a random color from that color wheel. So now we can tell these apart a little bit more easily when looking at them in the page bar. So I want to show you a couple different ways that you can rearrange your pages. If you tap and hold on a page, you can see you can drag it around and change the order of that page within the page bar. It doesn't have to be the page that you're active on. Notice I'm currently active on the green page and I'm rearranging these others. I also want you to notice that the numbers that coincide with these pages, page number 2, 3, 1, notice they're not changing when I rearrange them in the page bar. And that's because the order that the pages are in this page bar, it has nothing to do with the number of the page. These numbers, they actually don't mean anything really other than a name. When the page is created, when I tap this plus sign, it's just given a name, and by default it's page number 1, number 2, number 3. But it doesn't actually do anything to its order in the page bar. So I want to go ahead and get rid of those names and change them to something that matches a little bit better to what the page actually looks like. So to do that, I'm going to tap in the background of the page to bring up its page editor again, and I'm going to open up the name property, hit the gray X to delete the letters that are there, and I'm just going to name these each based on the color that they are. When you're in the name property, you can use your delete button or your backspace button too to get rid of the letters that are there. I just find that it's a lot faster to use that quick gray X to delete everything all at once. So now we've got green, blue, and red as our page names. This is a really good habit to get into because when you see your pages listed together on a big long list, it's a lot easier to remember green is the green page, blue is the blue page, and red is the red page. Rather than trying to remember, was page number 2 the red one, was page number 3 the red one? This one's easier to recognize what it was when you're looking at them on a list together. So we've looked at how to rearrange pages in the page bar. There's one more way that you can rearrange a page, and that's within the app editor. To get there, I'm going to click Settings in the Development panel, and now this is my app editor. Notice it's different from the page editor that we were in earlier. This one has a tab for pages, that if I click there, then I see all my pages listed. So this is kind of like my page bar, it just looks a little bit different. To rearrange the way that the pages are listed here, I can tap the red minus button, and then two different icons pop up. So you can see there's some new red minus buttons down the left-hand side here, and then there's some little icons with 3 lines on the right-hand side. These are actually called hamburgers. So if you grab a hamburger, if you tap and hold on it, then you can drag a page around to change its order in the list. And then in doing that, once you're done, just click the yellow X. In doing that, you'll see that the order is going to change up here as well. So going back into that Settings button to open up the app editor, I want to show you one of the ways that you can delete a page. If I hit that red minus button again, the red minus buttons that pop up on the left-hand side, that's step 1 to delete a page in this list. If I decide I want to delete the green page, if I tap the red minus button that's next to the green page, then a pop-up button is going to show up that says Delete. Now be sure that you want to click this. Once you click this, there is no going back, there's no undo button. So make sure that this is the page you want to delete. So as you do, as you tap that, it disappears. Once you're done, click the yellow X and we're back to the normal editor. And then as you exit that editor, you'll see that the green page is no longer listed up here. Red and blue is all we've got. I want to point out one more thing. I'm going to drag blue to be our first page in the list here. And then I'm going to run my app. with this green button here in the development panel. When I click Run, even though blue is the first page on our list, the app starts with the red page. And I want to show you why that is. Just like the way that page number 1, 2, and 3, those numbers didn't mean anything about the order up here, the order up here also doesn't change anything about the way that the app runs. So within your settings button to bring up the app editor, you can see there's a property called First Screen. That's what's determining the first page that you see when you tap the Run button. So if we want the blue one to be first instead of the red one, just change it to blue. Also, you can run your app throughout any editor in WizCreate. So this Run button here in the top left, this does the same thing that that green button did from the development panel. You can see now our app starts with the blue page, now that we've made that change. So there's one more way to delete a page, and that's within the page itself. So from within a page, if you tap the background, this is your page editor, and in the bottom right is a little trash can icon. If you tap that, you're going to get a pop-up that says, do you want to delete this page? And if you say OK, then the page is automatically deleted and you're left with, in this case, your blue page. Hopefully this has been a helpful reminder of how to create a new app, create new pages, manage those pages, and delete them. Happy app making!